be discussing about some important facts. Already we had discussed about all our food crops, non-food crops, and also our pulses, then about our millets, then the beverage crops. We had also our fiber crops. So which are the important fiber crops we are having? Yes, it is tea and coffee. What about the beverage crops? Yes, the beverage crop is tea and coffee, and the fiber crop is cotton and jute. Okay, and what about the non-food crops? Yes, we discussed about our rubber, and which is very important for us also, and it has got a variety of uses also. Now, coming to the technological and institutional reforms. Now, what are the technological changes that has come over years, and what are the instruments, what are the things that we have been using and we are using now? What all changes occurred in the agricultural sector when we take into consideration the technology and the institutions? Okay, now talking about agriculture, we all know that India is an agricultural country, and long years back in all parts of the world we were practicing, and now also we are practicing different types of agricultural methods. With time, we can see that the methods are changing. What is the reason for this? Yes, that is the technological innovations. Now itself you can see that there are many new methods which we are using for our sowing and harvesting. It's different from what we were using in the past. So when we talk about the technological changes and all, we can see that the technological changes, to some extent it has been hindered. Now what is the reason for that? Yes, we all know that our farmers in India, they are not that rich. So some of the farmers, those who are able to, they might be getting the technological or new methods or new techniques they might be using. But what about our poor farmers? No, they are not able to. So they are following the same old method, and the production is also very less. Now when we talk about India, now why has India not improved in technical and institutional reforms in agriculture? Even though we are taking many measures, we can see that we are not getting that much of improvement. Now what are the reasons behind that? We can see that we have developed in irrigation facilities, isn't it? The mode of irrigation has changed a lot when we take about the agriculture. But what happened? There are farmers who still depend on monsoon and natural fertility in order to carry on their agriculture. That means there are people in India itself, we can see the farmers, those who are not getting or not having any irrigation facilities, and saying they are using the old techniques. That means they are still depending upon the monsoon for their crop. And at the same time, we can also see that they also carry on the same natural things for fertilizing their lands and all, rather than using any other fertilizers. So what happens? Automatically the production is also less from those lands. And it is not the problem that the farmers, they don't will to. Yes, they also have the wish to carry on with some technological improvements. But the thing is that they may not be aware, or they may be financially backward. So that is the reason. So we can see the government nowadays is taking many measures in order to overcome this also. Then, talking about the next thing, we can see that agriculture needs in India, mainly we can say agriculture needs serious technical and institutional reforms is needed, as it is done in the developed countries of the world, where they even check the soil before planting the crop, so that they will be knowing that which type of soil is present over there and which is the crop which will be growing better in that areas. And in India, we can see that from the time being onwards, there are changes which has come up, and the government, as I told you, they have taken many measures. And you might have studied in your history chapters and all about the zamindari system and all, where the zamindars, they used to have a lot of land, and they used to give it to the poor farmers for doing agricultural activity. And these zamindars used to collect the rent from them. It used to be a high amount. These poor farmers, they used to get a very little from that. Okay, whatever the zamindars which they used to give them. So after independence and all, we can see all these type of things has been abolished. It has been taken out by the government, the zamindari system and all. And what the government has also done is that the farmers, those who were having small pieces of land, in some areas we can see that the government has collected the land. Okay, from the farmers, those who are having small pieces of land, that is collectivization, and they encourage the farmers, all these farmers together to do some agricultural activity in the field by using some improved technology, by using some improved means, and in order to improve the production also. So these are some of the things which are done by our government also. Collectivization, consolidation of holdings, then cooperation and abolition of zamindari systems. Which this were the systems, or this were some of the measures which were carried out by our government in order to improve the conditions of the farmers as well as the production, as well as these were some of the reforms which were brought about in agriculture. Coming to the next part, we can also see that when a 5-year plan was started, the government also focused on agricultural activity, or we can say farming, and also we can see that they gave more and more importance to agriculture, agricultural productions, and the changes that can be brought about in agriculture. But there are some lags again coming up in agriculture. Now, what is that? We had already discussed in the beginning, that is related to our, yes, right to inheritance. Now, what this right to inheritance is doing? Yeah, it is dividing the land into small pieces again. Now, what is happening when this land is again divided into small pieces? We will be getting only a few pieces of land, and we will be having to do the agricultural activity in that small piece of land. Again, the production will be coming less. So, that is one problem that we face. Then, we can also see that some laws of land reforms were enacted, but laws of implementation were lacking. Many laws are implemented, but what happens? Yes, the proper implementation of it is not taking place. Many laws are being introduced related to our agriculture also, but what happens? Yes, it takes a lot of time, and sometimes what is happening? The implementation also does not take place. So these are some of the drawbacks that we can see in this sector. Coming to what were the steps which were taken by the government in agricultural reforms. Now many steps, as I told you earlier, many steps were taken by our government in the agricultural sector. So now what are they? Some we can see that the government of India, they embarked upon introducing agricultural reforms to improve Indian agriculture in the 1960s and the 70s. Already we know what is the changes, the coming up of our green revolution, isn't it? And as a part of this green revolution, what we started doing? Yes, we started making use of high yielding varieties of seeds, at the same time chemical fertilizers, pesticides, better irrigation facilities, and by doing all this thing, what we happen to do? Yes, we increase the production also. Then we can also see that not only in case of agriculture, in case of dairy products, fishing, all these areas we can see the government has interrupted and they have tried to bring about many changes. Just like our white revolution, operation flood and all, there were some of the things to improve the conditions of our farmers and all. Then also we can see that although the government introduced all such type of things, green revolution, white revolution, there were many other revolutions also related to that. But still then, what has happened? Yes, this was confined to some areas only. Mainly some people or some farmers, they were benefited because of this rather than the whole locality of farmers. So again, it was stipulated to some part and some of them got the benefits only. Then, so what happened? Again in the 90s, 80s and 90s, a comprehensive land development program was initiated which included both the institutional as well as technical reforms also, bringing both the things together. the institutions and technologies. The government tried to bring about development in the agricultural sector. Now, we can also see, so what was the institutional changes that the government tried to bring about? The provision of crop insurance against calamities and all. We know that the fate of this agriculturist or the farmers, it depends a lot on our climatic conditions. If there is heavy rainfall, the thing is destroyed. If there is no rainfall also, it will bring about difficulties. If there are earthquakes or some other natural calamities taking place, it will be affecting the agricultural activity. So what happened? The government, they brought about crop insurance against this calamities. Then at the same time, in order to give better facilities, loans and all to the farmers, the government also introduced the Grameen banks. Not only the Grameen banks, we can also see the cooperative societies with the cooperation of these farmers and all. And bank for providing loan facilities to the farmers at lower rates of interest were some of the steps which were taken by the government in order to bring a drastic change in our agricultural sector. Okay, so crop insurance against calamities. If the crop is destroyed, what will happen? Yes, the government will be paying them some amount of money so that they will be able to come up from that. At the same time, banks, cooperative banks, Grameen banks and all were there, which used to help the farmers to take loan at an easy way, and also the rate of interest was less. We know what is the fate of our farmers due to taking loans and paying a very high rate of interest. So the government also tried such institutional changes in order to bring about changes in the agricultural sectors and the farmers also. So these loans were provided also in order to bring about some technological changes in this sector. By using this money, they were able to buy seeds, they were able to buy fertilizers, or also they will be able to buy the machines and all, which they can make use in order to bring about better agricultural production. Okay, now what were the other steps? There are also some other steps which were taken by our government other than all this, just like giving Kisan credit card. You might be hearing in the news and the papers nowadays about the Kisan credit card, the facilities of all those things. Then personal accident insurance schemes and some other schemes which were introduced by the government for the benefit of the farmers. As accident insurance scheme, Kisan credit cards. Using this credit cards, they will be able to take loans at a low rate of interest. They will be getting some other facilities just like getting low fertilizers, getting pesticides or machines and all from the agricultural departments and all. And at the same time, we can also see that some special weather bulletins are being introduced, and also we can see that some programs are being aired through this radio and television for the betterment of this agriculturist or the farmers, which will be helping them to make some new methods or introduce some new methods in their agricultural activities, through which they might be able to increase the production also. So these are some of the techniques we can see, or which are some of the steps which are taken by the government in order to uplift, bring up the agricultural sector in India. Also we can see that other than this, the government is also providing minimum support price. Sometimes we could see that there is a lot of production. Okay, and the farmers, they may not be getting the needed amount of money. In that case, who will be coming to the limelight? Yes, our government will be coming to the limelight, and they will be paying a minimum support price for the products. And the government will be buying the product, and it will be secure. Food security, that is the next thing which you had already studied in your lower classes. And at the same time, a procurement price for important crops to check the exploitation of farmers by the middleman. We know this middleman and all. Okay, they play an important role. They are the ones who take the maximum profit out of it. So the government is nowadays trying to come in direct contact with the farmers and buy the product from the farmers, paying them a better amount of money so that our farmers will be well established, and and they will be able to carry on their agricultural activity in a better manner. So these are some of the steps which are taken by our government in order to bring about changes in the agricultural sector. Thank you.